Hello guys, this is UniversalGiant, and welcome back to more of Let's Play Pokémon SoulSilver. Last time we met with our rival in the Burn Tower and released the legendary beasts into the world. And in this episode, besides taking a yellow flower from Crunch here, we're going to be taking on the Ecruteak City Gym. Now before we do that, I did do the promised experience training off-screen. Everybody's up to level 21 just so everyone's on equal footing. And Crunch learned a new move, Ice Fang, 65 base power ice move. Very nice to have for type coverage. But we now enter the gym that gives me the most trouble of any gyms in this game, except for possibly one. But we'll get to that one when we get to it. And one thing to say about this gym's design, it is a pain in the ass to navigate on the actual DS. But the emulator has a difficult time emulating the graphics here. Now, ideally, the only places you would be able to see are where you can see the light emanating off of the candles. So everything that doesn't look black should look black. The key to getting through here is before fighting each of the trainers, take note of what the path is around them. Because if you take a wrong step and fall off the platform, you have to start all over again. So before you fight them, remember where you can get around them and how you have to move to progress, because if you don't, the light will go away after you defeat them. Now, the Ecruteak City Gym specializes in Ghost-type Pokémon, which are really difficult to deal with at this point in the game if you're not prepared for them, because they're only weak to Dark and, well, the Ghastly family, which is all you're going to see in this gym, are also weak to Psychic because they're poison type. They're not weak to not weak to ground because all of them have Levitate, because making them immune to ground type moves. You could also use Ghost types in here as well. You had access to Ghastlys in the Sprout Tower if you went in there at nighttime. But Ghost type is weak to Ghost type. So you have to be really careful around these guys, especially once you get to the gym leader, who will have a stronger Ghost type move than any of your guys can have at this point. So if you want to use a Ghost type here, be cautious. But I'm a little bit better prepared for this gym than I am when I normally play through this. Not only does Crunch have a Dark type move, but I have a Dark type in Lupus. And I want to give Klaus a shot in here too. I'm not sure if he'd be able to outspeed the Ghastlys, but no reason for me not to try. I think Confusion would be enough to take it out. We'll give it a shot. And Duster also has Shadow Claw since we made that little bit of a detour to the east of town here. So I'm also anxious to get him going. And a really nice thing about using Duster in here is because he's normal type, Ghost type moves don't affect him. So, I'm really well prepared for this gym, and I'm usually not. So I'm anxious to go through here and see what kind of good luck I can have. Of course, when I say that, you know what happens, but for the time being, things look okay. So knock on wood. No, not that wood. Get your mind out of the gutter. But like I said, once you defeat these guys, the candle around them will disappear, and you won't be able to see where you're going. Normally, all of this would be black, so you have to remember to take one step up, 3 steps right. And then from then on, you can just proceed straight to the next trainer. I think I want to try to give everybody an equal chance before we move on to the gym leader. And it's also nice to have a Steel type and Magnemite who will resist Ghost type moves as well. But these guys aren't known necessarily for their Ghost-type moves. Haunter Evolved form of Ghastly may probably outspeed me. No, I'm genuinely surprised by how fast Espeon is proving to be, and how powerful it is. I'm also very, very scared to try using it against the gym leader. It may eventually come to that, but for the time being, 56 speed, I underestimated you. And he wants to learn Quick Attack. What move would I want to get rid of this? Sand Attack? I generally don't like keeping accuracy-based moves because it just seems kind of cheap to spam them. No reason to keep Tail Whip, though. So now Klaus has priority, however weak it may be. And let's see if we can give Duster some love here. I'm really anxious to see what Duster's capable of. I mean, I'm not going to say that I'm doubting Duster at all. I'm just really anxious to see how powerful he can prove to be. I'm pretty sure that crit mattered, but I can't say for sure. You know what? Let's see just how much that mattered. Let's put him out front. And I completely forgot we have a Dark type for these guys as well. We are really well equipped for this fight. 2 more trainers to take out, though. Yeah, 1 whole year together! I mean, you look at these mediums, you look how old they are, you think they can keep a single year in perspective. But these ghost types are known for cursing, of course, but they're also known for putting you to sleep. And I don't remember necessarily if the trainer battles here show that off as much as the gym leader, because he is a real pain in the neck to deal with in terms of sleep. I do have a particular plan in mind for that. I didn't realize until jumping into the recording just how anxious I am to get this fight out of the way, because there are a lot of different things I want to try out. Well, you'd know you're not a psychic when you predict the future incorrectly, Martha. But Ghastly is another one of those trade evolutions where you have to trade its evolved form to make it evolve again. Even since the first generation, that's kind of confused me why a Pokemon would evolve if traded. And I'm not sure if the later generations have done that thing as much as the earlier generation did. I think there were 4 Pokemon lines in the first generation that did that. And I know there were a couple of them in the 5th, and in the second generation they introduced trade evolutions where you have to be holding a certain item. I don't know if they did that so much in the 3rd and 4th generation because I'm not as familiar with them as I am with the first 2 and the 5th, since I played that one to death recently. But we have a lot of advantages over these guys. Crunch has a dark move, Duster has a ghost move and an immunity to ghost, Lupus is a dark type. I mean, you'd think we have all the makings of a very good battle coming up, and I don't think we took any damage in any of these fights, did we? Alright then. And Lupus wants to learn the move Odor Sleuth. Now this isn't particularly useful on him, because he shouldn't necessarily need it, but if you use it on a... Actually, it's really fitting, considering we're right in front of the Gym Leader battle against ghost types. If you use Odor Sleuth, it enables the Pokemon who used it to strike ghost types with any sort of move, including normal and fighting type. Mainly useful for normal and fighting types. Considering my moveset, it's absolutely useless, but you can see, just based on where we are, that it may be useful in some situations. And now that we have defeated all of the trainers in our way, we can take on Morty, the gym leader. But before we do that, there are a couple of special preparations I want to make, and I'll do those off-screen because they'll take a little while to do. Okay, we should be all ready to go. What I did was equip everybody with Chesto berries. Now, I mentioned I've been doing a lot of berry growing between sessions, and I've gotten about a dozen of every type of berry we can have, so I've equipped everybody with a Chesto berry. Now what Chesto berry does, if you're not aware, is that it will awaken your Pokemon if it happens to fall asleep in battle, so it's really nice to have as a hold item against Morty. Now, just like all the other trainers in this gym, his entire roster consists of nothing but the Ghastly family. So just do what you've been doing that got you thus far. The real pain in the neck is going to be... He usually sends it in after you knock out the first one. But no, he's not doing that for some reason. And I suppose I'll give everybody equal screen time. Well, not necessarily equal screen time. But what his Pokemon like to do is put you to sleep. Put you to sleep, use Curse on you after using Mean Look. You normally do it in the opposite order, so I can't escape after you do that. If you're set to shift out instead of set battles, it also makes dealing with Curse a lot easier because you can just switch out at the end of the turn after you defeat the opposing Pokemon. Which is what's going to make this fight a little bit easier. Now this is his pain in the ass, his Gengar. Now, what I like to do with this thing, if possible, is cripple it. This thing is fast and hits very hard on the special side. So what I would like to do is get a Thunder Wave off. I did not anticipate that, I probably should have, but as long as it's going to be moving much more slowly than me, he's not going to be able to do too much to me. I resist his Stab Shadow Ball, which is one of the strongest ghost moves, if not the strongest ghost move in the game. I don't remember if Poison resists Steel, I suppose we could try it out. But this thing will put you to sleep and it'll eat your dreams. No, it doesn't resist Steel. Yeah, but this is it, Shadow Ball. Ghost-type move, 80 base power, specially oriented. Makes Gengar a huge threat. It's actually a really nice Pokemon to use. I think I tried using one in Diamond. But he's equipped with a Citrus Berry, so it's going to restore his HP if he gets down to a low enough level of health. I'm also afraid of knocking this thing down into a range where he will restore its health. So let's try confusing it. Because I never like when confusion is inflicted on me. And since he's both confused and paralyzed, it's going to take a lot for him to break out of his... what we in the business like to call parafusion, where so many things have to go right in order for you just to be able to get off an attack. Very annoying to deal with double status. Why do I always have such good luck against the gym leader's best Pokemon? That's the 4th one! Goodness gracious. Okay, who hasn't gotten a turn in here? I want to see everybody get a chance. Yeah, Crunch. You know, I'm realizing I haven't used Crunch as often as you would expect someone to use their starter's choice. But he's got a dark move as well. I just defeated your strongest Pokemon. I'd safely say it's just about over. Nightshade will always do HP damage equal to whatever the user's level is. So in Haunter's case, it always does 23 HP of damage. That was an effort in futility, Haunter, because you know I'm going to knock you out on the next turn, and I actually got through this fight without having Morty use a healing item. I don't know if I've ever had such an easy time going through this gym, I'll be honest with you. That may have been the easiest gym fight we've had so far. And for defeating Morty, you guessed it, we're going to get another badge. The Fog Badge. And in addition, he'll be giving us one of the best TMs you get from a gym in this game. TM30, Shadow Ball. Like I said, 80 base power Ghost-type move, and may also reduce the opponent's special defense. Which, unlike the 3rd generation, actually helps because it's a special attack. Now, Shadow Ball is a move I always like to use immediately if I already have a Pokemon that can learn it. And in this case, although, again, Duster can learn it, there's no reason to teach it to him because his special attack is really low, and he has Shadow Claw anyway, which would do more damage in the first place. And Lupus can learn it, but Dark Pulse is generally better, considering it's also a specially based attack and has... I'm pretty sure it has as many, if not one more, strength in terms of type advantages than Shadow Ball does. So I like to give it to Klaus, just so he can deal with other psychic types without being rolled by them. And, like I said, I don't really want to use Sand Attack, so let's get rid of that. I can't believe that gym fight went over so... He didn't even try to put any of these guys to sleep, so I didn't get to show off my Johto Berry strategy. Oh well, easiest way to get out of here, just step off the side. And now that we've cleared the Ecruteak City gym, and we can see our names on the certified trainer list. I don't know if I ever showed that off on one of these statues. I also miss being able to see your rival's name up there first. I know they did that in a couple of other generations. Hello, Mom, how you doing? Where whatever gym you got to, you would see that your rival got there first and beat the gym before you did. So now that we're all set and ready to go from Ecruteak City, I suppose I'll check out the mart, see what else they have now that we have our 4th badge. And I didn't mention you can also use Surf out of battle now that we have the Fog badge, which is going to be really nice. It's going to let us access a whole bunch of different areas right now. I don't know how many of those I'll explore between now and the next episode, but there are quite a few of them that we can go to. I don't think I'll be showing off all of them. Actually, before we go shopping, there is one thing I picked up in the Buena's Password, where for getting 20 points, we got the Nugget, which we can sell for a good 5,000 Pokédollars. And I found a tiny mushroom somewhere. I did do a little bit of exploring off-screen with the dowsing machine, a place we've already been to. And I also did more rock smashing around the ruins of Alph to find myself an old amber, which we can use much later on in a similar manner that we can use the dome fossils. But we won't know for a very long time. And when rock smashing, I also found an even rarer pickup item. The Max Revive, which fully restores an incapacitated Pokemon's HP. So if you're knocked out, this will restore right up to full. Really nice to have. You can't buy them, you have to find them. And is there anything else I picked up of note? I don't think so. So let's take a look to see what else this guy has to offer. Pretty sure he was selling Great Balls and Super Potions before. I guess nothing out of the ordinary. Could pick up a couple of revives now that we have money for them. I could also go back to Goldenrod City and buy some TMs if I really want them, and maybe a couple of Pokeballs as well. But I think I'm going to hold off on buying those sorts of TMs because I want to keep the game not necessarily like legit, because you can get them right now if you really wanted to, but it just doesn't feel as authentic to me if I go buy the best TMs right now. And I also ground out 10,000 coins at the game corner, so I can buy Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, or Flamethrower right now if I really wanted to, but for the same reason I don't think I'll be doing that. So next time we'll be exploring around previous places that we've been to with Surf, so we can get a couple of hidden items around there, and then we'll be heading to the west to our next destination. Until then, this is UniversalGiant, and Fert gave us a yellow flower as well. See you next time.